Come shopping with me at Sephora to spend my entire beauty budget for the month. I'm gonna go to Sephora, look at all of the new beauty products that I've been talking about. This month I bought for a total of... It's time for a Sephora haul. Hi gorgeous, welcome back to the beauty room. My name is Elle if you're new. And a couple of weeks ago, I posted a no budget shopping Sephora video. And in that video, I touched on how I spent my entire beauty budget for the month of May. And I got a few questions on how much I actually budget for beauty every single month and just general interest on how I budget. So in this video, we are gonna be doing the same old thing. I'm gonna go to Sephora, look at all of the new beauty products that I've been talking about in my criticizing new makeup releases video. We're gonna touch and swatch all of the new products, but instead of just window shopping, I'm actually going to buy things that I want within my budget. So make sure you stay tuned until the end to find out what I use my budget for and if I stayed within the budget for this month. Now, before we hop into Sephora, I also want to share with you 5 budgeting tips that have allowed me to spend money on beauty without feeling guilty and without overspending. Now, the first thing that I would do is to create a wish list and then set a timeline for that wish list. Now, this is going to look a little bit different for everybody, and just keep that in mind. For all of these tips, you can kind of take what is helpful for you, but also adjust it to what works for you best, because we all have different finances, we all have different mindsets, we all have different perspectives. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But with a wish list and a timeline, that's going to prevent you from making purchases too quickly. So instead of the act of checking things out from your cart, you're going to add it to your wish list instead. And that is something you're going to keep in mind periodically. The key to this wish list is to also have a timeline of when you can actually make the purchase for the product. For some people, it might be that you have to finish a product before you can buy anything on your wish list. For others, it might be waiting until 1 week before you buy it. And for me, I wait about 2 to 3 weeks before I allow myself to make a purchase. And the reason for this is because it helps you kind of sit on the product a little bit longer and separates yourself from your impulses, because sometimes when we initially see a product, we might be really excited about it in the moment, but later on when we make the purchase, we might have buyer's remorse. So to prevent that from happening, it's always good to let it sit on your wish list for a little bit longer before actually making the buy. And the best part about the wish list for me is that I always go back to it to kind of edit and delete it as time goes on. There have been so many times where I have a long wish list, and then after some time I've been able to delete a lot of products because I realize I don't even want it anymore, or those products wouldn't even serve a purpose for me anymore. Number 2 is budget on what works for you. So again, what works for my budget every single month might not work for you. I did get a question on how much is reasonable to spend on a beauty budget every single month, and that is different for everyone. It is subjective. My budget is based on how much I make that month, but also how much I want to save that month, and also what is actually going on that month. So when I'm budgeting, I'm not just thinking, oh, I only want to spend $100 on beauty that month. I'm also thinking, okay, where else do I need to allocate my money? Like, I have to pay rent, I have to pay my phone bill, I have to pay electricity. There might be some special occasions that come up. There might be a birthday, a holiday, or an event that I want to go to that I need to put money aside for. And I always plan this a month prior, and then whatever is left over is usually what I allocate in my beauty budget. And I prioritize it differently every single month. Some months I put the beauty budget on a higher priority. For example, if I know that I want to create a lot of content that might make me spend money, then I'm going to prioritize that a little bit higher. I think it was in the month of April when the Sephora sale happened. I had a pretty big budget for that month because I knew that I was going to be creating content, and I knew that I wanted to make a good Sephora shopping video for that. So with that being said, my budget for the month of June is going to be $150. So this is how much I have to spend at Sephora, at Target, at Ulta, wherever I go. I cannot spend more than $150. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't always stay within the budget. Actually, I think every single month I always go over the budget just by a little bit, just because of taxes, and sometimes I do overspend, but the budget just helps keep me in line baseline to know whether I'm overspending or if I'm on track. So the reason why I decided on a $150 budget for the month of June is because I feel like in the previous months, I've been allocating a lot of money towards beauty, and I'm trying to balance that out for the months moving forward, at least until the holiday season. So do not create your beauty budget based on what I think is reasonable. Create your beauty budget on what actually works for you. For some people, that might be $20, and for other people, that might be $1,000. I just think it depends on your circumstances. Number 3 is to track your finances. That is the whole point of budgeting. I'm not just using it as a buzzword to tell you to set a number and aim for that. A beauty budget needs to be surrounded by the rest of your budget, meaning your expenses when it comes to rent, electricity, any bills that you have, on top of any other responsibilities that you might have, or anything else you like to spend your money on, like food or clothing or travel, etc., etc. I like to use the app YNAB to track my budget and collect data on how I'm spending my money. It is a subscription service, so you do pay monthly or you can pay yearly, but if you use a referral code, I think you can get 1 month free. I will link it in the description box if you're interested. I do not earn any money from it. This is not sponsored. I have been using YNAB for about 2 to 3 years. The app has actually helped me look at budgeting a lot more differently. It's also really fun to see all of the data at the end of the year on how much I spent on each category. And I also use the app to help me pay off my credit card debt from college. So it has personally changed my life, and I absolutely swear by this app. So if you are serious about your budget, I highly recommend YNAB. There's a little bit of a learning curve to it, but once you figure it out, it will make budgeting a lot easier. Number 4 is to change your mindset about budgeting. So for me, I stopped looking at budgeting as a way to restrict myself, to punish myself, and instead I saw budgeting as a way to give myself permission to spend money on things that I find joy in, to things that I love, in a way that is a lot more balanced. You can look at it as giving yourself a monthly allowance. So when you're younger, your parents usually give you the monthly allowance, but now you're the one making the money, you're the one in control of the money. So you give yourself a monthly allowance. If you love beauty, if you love clothes, give yourself a monthly allowance of how much you can spend that month without making you feel like you're gonna overspend. And the last and final tip is to learn and pay attention to your beauty preferences. This goes for anything in life, really. Clothes, food, makeup, hair, everything. Pay attention to what you prefer, pay attention to what you love, what makes you feel good, and stick to that. It doesn't mean you can't ever try anything new. I'm big on trying new things, but for the majority of the time, try to stick to your preferences, because this is going to prevent you from overspending and spending money on things that just aren't worth it to you. The more knowledge you have and data you have on what you like and what you usually don't like, you can start to easily avoid wasting your time and money on products that just are going to be decluttered or returned. This has worked for me in both clothing and makeup. Now that I kind of know what makes me feel good when I go to the store, it's really easy for me to say no to certain things without even having to try things on, without even having to swatch things, because I know from the very beginning what I like. So if you've never ever created a budget before, I highly recommend to do it for the month of July, or you can even start today, and let me know if it's helped you in any way. But now that you know what my budget is, let's go ahead and go to Sephora. I am very excited to spend some money at Sephora today and finally grab the things that are on my wish list. It feels like a present or a treat that I'm giving to myself every single month, which I'm definitely not mad about. Flawless released a new cream blush which has a cream to powder finish. In person, the formula felt like something I would enjoy because it's not really glowy at all, but there's another blush that I'm a little bit more excited about that we'll find later on. I can't remember if this is a recent launch, but Say released some new concealers. The shade range looks really small in my opinion, which is surprising, but the formula was pretty luminous and radiant definitely not for me. I spot the new Cali Ray Sun Drip Bronzer in one shade. I'm pretty sure it comes with more, but this has a luminous finish, and from the marketing images, I always thought it was going to be more metallic, like a bronzing drop. I kind of like the formula because it's pigmented and very easy to blend. Fenty Beauty is hopping on the tinted sunscreen train. I personally never bought their original sunscreen because I remember it having like a scent I didn't like. Let me know what you think and if you've tried it before and if the tinted sunscreen version is worth it. The new House Labs Lip and Cheek Blush Stick is also now available in store. It is both pigmented and glowy, but as expected, it's a little too shiny for me, so I will not be buying this. I've never tried anything from Inky List before, but I finally found something I'm interested in buying. It's their hyaluronic acid serum, which is surprisingly $10. I don't remember when I've ever paid $10 for something at Sephora, so I'm gonna add this to my cart. Now, what I really came in here for was the new Kosas blushes for $29. Truthfully, 50% of the shades I swatched were ashy, but a few shades like Hype, Adrenaline, Thrill, and Euphoria looked really beautiful on the skin. I'm pretty skeptical about the formula now that I've swatched them, but I'll put it in my cart and decide later. I'm currently on the hunt for the perfect stick foundation, so I want to swatch the new Ilia foundation, but it seems really dry in person, which I'm not a fan of. It also received mixed reviews on the Sephora site, so for $48, I don't think I'm going to take the chance. But their lipstick and lip liner crayon seems more promising, which is simply just a thicker lip pencil for $26. I really do like the concept of this, and the formula seems like it works as both. This is definitely something I am considering. YSL launched 2 new lip formulas, which I have yet to try. You all know how much I love their Candy Glaze formula, so I'm very excited to swatch these. The Love Shine Oil Slick is slightly pigmented and with a glossy shine. The Candy Glow seems more hydrating with a little less of a shine. And since it's finally June, I have come to the conclusion that I can finally buy the Supergoop Protect Tint for extra coverage. I've had this on my wish list since it's launched, and I think it's okay to finally add this to my cart for $44. The Merit Complexion Stick has also been sitting on my wish list for about a month, and I think today is the day I'm gonna make the purchase, and this is $38. I'm also going to grab one of the new Merit Cream eyeshadows in the shade Mid-Century. I've been dying to try this since the launch, and I haven't really been wanting to wear powder eyeshadow lately, so I'm also going to drop this in my cart. NARS released their Summer Laguna palette, and this looks so pretty in person. I also really love the texture of these powders, but not all of the shades showed up on me, so for $50, it's gonna be a pass. Instead, I'm more excited about the eyeshadow sticks for $32, which is just a range of neutral colors. I love a good cream shadow stick, so I may add one of these to my wish list for the future. Spotted, the new, probably viral Patrick Dot highlighter duos. I've seen a few bad reviews on these, and I'm not any more impressed by how they look in person. The cream formula felt very tacky, and the finish appeared almost glittery. I don't think it's for me, and I've also banned myself from buying highlighters. I think the Huda Beauty blush filters are one of the cutest most recent launches. The packaging reminds me of K-Beauty, and I love the color range. I'm really tempted to buy the shade Black Cherry, which is like this reddish wine color. Huda Beauty also has a high shine lip gloss, but it doesn't feel like anything special, and I'm pretty satisfied with all the lip glosses I have at home, so let's just pass on that. Now let's take a little peek at Dior. Their lip glosses were completely picked over. I'm not sure if I missed the memo on these, but I didn't realize how popular they were. They also have the Dior Lilac collection. The shade barely looked any different from the original pink shade, so I'm not super impressed at all. Moving on to the new Laneige lip sleeping mask in watermelon. The packaging is adorable, but I'm not a fan of the watermelon scent. It smelled like artificial watermelons mixed with something that was a little bit kind of like expired. I don't know, I just didn't like it. Thank you so much for watching this far. Let me know that you've made it here by commenting a pink emoji below. And of course, they were sold out of the new Sol de Janeiro body mist. Nothing new to see here, kids. But they do have the new Summer Fridays Iced Coffee Lip Balm fully in stock, which is rare. I personally will not be buying this because you all know I prefer Rhode's peptide lip tints over Summer Fridays. Speaking of lip balm, Glossier released the strawberry lip balm in their OG formula. I'm not the biggest fan of the strawberry scent, but I do love the formula. I got these in PR and found out they are truly hydrating on my lips, and I would highly recommend. They also have the new lip liners from Glossier, but none of the shades felt unique enough to purchase. Alright, we've made it to the end. Keep on watching to find out everything I bought and if I stayed within my budget. It's time for a Sephora haul. I am seriously so excited for everything that I got because it has been on my wish list for quite a few months now. And I think that's why I love kind of waiting to buy things, because when you finally buy them, it feels so much more special, especially if it's been sitting on your wish list for quite a while and it's actually survived your deleting process. There are so many products that I've put on my wish list that I've ended up deleting because I just realized it's not worth it, or it just doesn't serve a purpose for me anymore. But these are the products that have survived the past month or two, and it has been like a week or two since I actually filmed the video, so I can give you my review about the products now. First product that I bought is the Merit Complexion Stick, and I have the shade in Khaki. I've been lusting over this for about a month, and I just was desperate for something that was a combination between like a foundation and concealer. I've also really been trying to curate my makeup collection to be a little bit more versatile. I wouldn't consider it minimalist, but just kind of more towards the no makeup look, because it is the summertime and I don't like to wear a lot of makeup in the summer. And this foundation or complexion stick, because it's both foundation and a concealer, felt like the best thing for the summer. The only thing is I feel like the shade Khaki is a little bit too yellow and orange for me, and I had a hard time finding my shade, but it does work. It does kind of blend into my skin either way. So far, I really like the act of using this. I use my fingers to blend it out. You could also apply it directly on your face. I just feel like it doesn't give me coverage. The only way I get the best coverage out of this is with my fingers, but if I kind of apply it directly onto my face and I blend it out with a brush, it can really disappear if I'm not careful. But aside from the coverage, I do love the formulation of it. It is very creamy, very easy to blend on the skin, which is a positive thing, but it also can be negative because I feel like it can blend away if you're not careful and it doesn't give a lot of saturated coverage. So if you're more towards no makeup, this is probably going to work for you, but if you want full coverage, I wouldn't recommend it. For me in this moment for summer, this does work for me. Even though it doesn't give me full coverage, I really like the act of using it, and it gives me enough coverage where I feel like my skin tone is even. So that's really what matters to me. And when I do apply it with my finger, I can get a decent amount of coverage. So it's exactly kind of what I purchased it for. It is versatile. I just don't know if this is going to hold the test of time, so I'll keep you updated on that. And this Merit Complexion Stick was $38, which is a little pricey, I'm not gonna lie, but it is technically a concealer and a foundation, so I'm not really mad about it. The second thing I bought is even pricier than the Merit Complexion Stick, and it is the Supergoop Protectant Daily SPF with SPF 50. This is $44, which is insane. I'm not gonna lie, it's insane. But the summer is here. It is freaking 90 something degrees in Massachusetts right now, and I'm trying to film this video without air conditioning. With that being said, I am trying to sunscreen my face up, not just because it's summer, but also because I've just been really prioritizing my skincare, protecting my skin. I'm getting a little bit older, and as I get older, my body is changing, my skin is changing, so sunscreen is becoming like top priority for me. And this is something that I really wanted because it matches my skin tone, but also it gives me extra SPF 50. So I put regular sunscreen underneath this, and then I put this on top as kind of like a double situation, and it gives me maximum protection. I also like to pair these two together. It's kind of like the perfect summer combination of like sunscreen tint, lightweight makeup with a little bit of coverage, easy to apply on. Makes me feel very like Glossier clean girl kind of vibes. So I really like this. The only thing I would warn you is that this is a very kind of shiny sunscreen. So you do want to powder this, and if you apply way too much, it can feel kind of sticky on the skin because it doesn't fully set. So my recommendation is just to put enough sunscreen to protect your skin. Put sunscreen underneath this just in case this isn't enough coverage, but don't pile on a thick amount of this because it will make your skin feel kind of sticky and tacky, especially in the heat. And for $28, I finally bought the Merit cream eyeshadow. This has been on and off my wish list for months. I swear, I think that one of my first like shop with me videos, I wanted to buy this, but they were like sold out of the color I wanted. And I've just been taking it on and off my wish list multiple times. But recently I have just been craving a one and done cream eyeshadow with a little bit of warmth to it that kind of looks chocolatey. And so I finally decided to rip off the band-aid and buy this. And I do not have any regrets. I love the longevity of this cream eyeshadow. It's like a cream to powder formula. It lasts all day on the eyes, but also gives you enough blend time, because for a lot of cream eyeshadow, sometimes it might be like long lasting, but then it's really hard to blend and it sets right away. This gives you enough blend time so that you can make it look natural on your eyes. It also works really well with just regular powder eyeshadow. I love this formula, but I love the color more. This is a shade Mid-Century, which is more like a soft kind of warmish brown, and it just looks so good on my eyes personally. So I really love this. I love this. If you get anything from this video, it would probably be this, especially if you're doing like a minimal makeup look. The last product that I bought with my budget is a skincare product. So this one is the INKEY Hyaluronic Acid Serum, and this actually wasn't on my wish list. So, you know, every once in a while I do buy what's not on my wish list. But the reason why I bought it was because I was influenced by my little brother. When I visited my parents for a week, I used his entire skincare routine and was super impressed because my skin has been going through it with the weather changes and just like hormone changes in general. My skin has been hating me. It's been screaming at me, okay? So his skincare routine is very gentle. He uses like Cetaphil, and then he also uses this serum, and I used the whole shebang, and I was very happy with it, especially the serum, because it wasn't sticky on the skin. It just sank into my skin and made my skin feel very like calm and a little extra hydrated. So I had to buy it. Plus it was only $10, and I have been using it ever since I bought it. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. I'm very happy about this. And the last thing that I'm actually not going to count towards my budget because I didn't buy it with my own money. This was gifted to me, handed to me by my mom. She gave me the Kosas powder blush, and I actually was going to buy this with my own money. I even put it in my Sephora cart, but when I called my mom, I realized she had already bought it, so I wanted to kind of wait to see what it looks like before I made the purchase. And once I got to her house and I tried it on, I was actually kind of impressed. At first though, I thought it was just like every other blush, wasn't the biggest fan of it, but as I have been wearing this more and more, it's something that I've just been excited to reach for. First of all, packaging is gorgeous. I love purple. I love the kind of baked mixed aesthetic in the pan. It's very hourglass. And I also have the shade Euphoria, which I would have never chosen and picked up for myself. I was gonna buy the shade, I think it's called Thrill, which is a little bit more of like a reddish orange color, typical color I would buy, but my mom picked out this color and it's really just like a purpley pink color. This is literally what I was looking for in a purple blush. It is purple in the pan, and then when you put it on my skin tone, it ends up being more of a pink color. I'm actually wearing it on my cheeks today. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the way that this looks on the skin is gorgeous. I love the color itself. It also has a nice sheen and glow to it without being glittery, without being greasy looking or overly glowy, without looking like a highlighter, and it doesn't enhance my texture at all. I feel like it gives me such a healthy glow. I love this formula. I stand by this formula. I want to get another color, but I'm so happy I ended up with this color because it's like what I've been looking for. Purple, pink, blush. This month I bought 4 products with my budget for a total of $120, which honestly is still kind of a lot. I think that the complexion products were the biggest portion of the budget, but I'm very, very happy with everything I bought. I feel kind of satisfied because a lot of these products were on my wish list for quite a while, and I've really thought through these purchases, so I am hoping that they stand the test of time. I think the only product that might be a little bit iffy for me is the Merit complexion stick, but other than that, everything else I bought, I feel like it's going to be holy grail status, but time will only tell. Alright, so that is all for today's video. Do not forget to leave a comment below. Let me know how you are going to spend your beauty budget in the month of June. If you've already spent it, let me know what you bought and if you felt like it was worth it. Other than that, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and as always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye!